What's up, YouTube world? This is Sixfinger86, and today's video will be how to purchase gold and silver for the first time. And speaking of the first time, this is the first time I've ever done a YouTube video, and I'm looking forward to doing this video as well as other videos in the future revolving around geopolitical events, current events, precious metal investing in the overall bullion field, health and wellness, as well as any other subjects that come up that I think I should make a video for. So looking forward to doing it in the future. So let's get to today's monologue on how to buy gold and silver for the first time. So you come to the decision that you're going to purchase gold and silver for your portfolio or as an investment. I think you've made a wise decision, seeing how gold and silver is probably the easiest and most cost-efficient way to diversify your portfolio or to protect you against your unsecured debt obligations by securitizing yourself with a hard asset. And if you think about it, most everything that we have is in the unsecured debt arena. So, like I said, this gives you the cheapest and most, well, not the cheapest, the easiest and most cost-efficient way to do just that. Okay, so what are some other things that you want to do or have before making your first purchase? Well, one of the things you want to do is educate yourself as much as possible on the precious metals themselves, the overall bullion investment arena, and in the overall investment arena, which lies in gold and silver and other precious metals. There are a lot of books that you can read. There are countless YouTube videos, but you should really inundate yourself with the overall available information so that you can go into this arena where you're well prepared for the different changes and the fluctuations of prices and how they all work, so that you know why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can seize on the opportunities as they arise or even before they arise. It gives you some great anticipation of things to happen that will affect your investment. Okay, so now you've educated yourself. Another thing that you want to do is you want to purchase a scale. Yes, a scale, not a scale to weigh yourself, but a scale to weigh your actual precious metals that gives you some insurances that you are actually getting what you're paying for. Okay, so now with your scale, let's take a look at some of the first time precious metals that you should buy and in what form should they be in. I particularly think that your first purchase should be in coins. And why coins? Reason coins should be one of your first purchases because coins are minted by governments, and that gives you, once again, it gives you some insurance that your actual purchase will be exactly what it is that you're buying. So there are other forms that aren't minted by the government. So your first purchase should be coins. And with some of the coins that I like the American Eagle format in silver and gold. So let's take a look at an American Silver Eagle, one of my favorite coins. I really love silver, so let's take a look at that. Okay, the American Silver Eagle, how can you tell if it's an authentic eagle or not? Well, one of the first things that you should do is weigh it, and the weight for an American Silver Eagle should be 31.103 grams. Now, it may fluctuate a little from that weight, and I have a rule of thumb: anything a half of a gram or a gram below that, I will not touch that coin, and anything over 2.5 grams above it, I will not touch that coin. So if you come across a coin that doesn't meet that weight standard, just move on to another coin, find another coin that does, because then you're minimizing your losses there. Okay, so now let's look at the American Gold Eagle. What's the forms of the American Gold Eagle? There are 4 different divisible fractions of the American Gold Eagle. 1 troy ounce is going to weigh 33.930 grams. The half troy ounce will weigh 16.965 grams. The quarter troy ounce will weigh 8.483 grams, and the 1/10 ounce will weigh 3.393 grams. Like, once again, it may have a slight deviation up or a little down, but that should be your marker. Now, speaking of the 1/10 troy ounce, I really like that coin, that gold coin. Reason being, one, because of its price points, as far as how small it is, the likelihood of someone filling it with tungsten is less, and also it offers you an opportunity to discreetly hide such a small coin if you need to hide it, and also gives you, if you're caught in a hyper inflation situation where you can carry great wealth with you, and you can fractionalize your purchase, or make a smaller purchase with a gold coin, and not worry about you have a gold coin that now may be in excess of over $5, $6, or $7,000 per ounce, but you've just broken it down to something much smaller, and it's easier to get fair market exchange for that. So I love that 1/10. That's my preferred way of investing in gold coins. But you may pay a larger premium, meaning if you had 10 of them, you would pay more for those 10 coins than if you bought 1 ounce of gold. But for me, it's worth it. Okay, so now moving on to, now you know the weight for the coins. What's your next step? Well, the next step is actually purchasing the actual gold and silver coins. Now, I believe that your first purchase should be in person, so that you can establish a rapport with the people that you're doing business with. I think you should find a coin dealer that's in your geographical area, or find a coin show that will be in your geographical area. Now, depending on where you are, it may be hard to find these coin dealers or coin shows, but you're going to have to navigate that. But your first couple of purchases, I would do it in person. Now, you can also buy online, but I would say first familiarize yourself with the overall industry before purchasing online, and I will do other videos in the future about where to buy, where did I find some great places to buy gold and silver online. Okay, so now that you're going to make your purchase in person, what should you do? Find a coin dealer, give them a call before you go, and it's part of your vetting process. Call them, and first thing you ask them is, what are they selling gold and silver for? And they're going to tell you. Just tell them that I'm there to make a purchase of a single American Eagle. How much would that cost me? Now, if they tell you it's going to cost you $70 or $80, I would look for another dealer, because they're talking about numismatics coins. And if this is your first purchase, you don't need to buy numismatics coins. If you want to become a coin collector, then maybe you want to move into that. But the reason for investment in hedging yourself against and diversifying your portfolio and hedging yourself against inflation and deflation, that's not the route that you want to take. You want to buy the American Eagle form of the year, close to spot as possible. Okay, spot. So what is spot? So another thing that you're going to have to familiarize yourself is with the spot price. Spot is what the market deems that an ounce of gold or silver should be, is the value of it at that particular moment, and it fluctuates every second while the market is open. So you want to go to one of the search engines and look up spot price for gold and spot price for silver, and keep that with you at all times, so you know exactly where the price of gold and silver is starting. Now, another thing that you need to know is spot plus and spot minus. What is spot plus? Spot plus is the spot price of what the gold or silver, let's take silver as an example. Let's say the spot price is $20. The plus is what the dealer is going to charge you for their fees to bring it to you to market and to make that exchange. So a rule of thumb that I have with spot plus is I don't pay more than $5, $6 over spot. When in actuality, you should be paying maybe $3 or $4 over spot. So if spot is at $20 for silver, you should be looking at paying anywhere from $23 to $24 an ounce for it. Anything over $6 or $6 in itself, I would look for another dealer. But because of supply and demand, if that's the only dealer in your geographical area, maybe you want to go ahead and make that purchase. It's up to you. So that's what spot plus is. So what is spot minus? Spot minus is this. It's just the opposite. Instead of buying silver or gold, now you're selling it back to the coin dealer or at the coin show. And how that works is this way. They're going to see what spot is. Let's take that same silver, and the spot price is at $20. Well, what they're going to do is take the $20 and they're going to minus it by maybe $3 or $4. I would not exchange anything less than $5 minus. So now they're going to charge, say, hey, we'll purchase that American Silver Eagle from you for $19.17 or $18. This is customary in the industry. They're not trying to scam you, but what you need to know is have your own margins of spot plus and spot minus that you are willing to deal. Okay, so now what's next? Where are some of the other items that you can buy in the silver and gold coin format? Okay, another one, just like the gold had the fractional, the half ounce, the quarter ounce, and the 10th ounce, there's also in silver you can buy what's called junk silver, but it's really not junk. It's really constitutional money, or what the Constitution says that our coin should be minted in, is in silver. And the great thing about junk silver is this: it comes in it comes in dollars, it comes in half dollars, it comes in quarters and dimes. Now, as you can see here, the junk silver that we have here, you have some Mercury dimes, you have some Roosevelt dimes. These are all 90% silver that were minted before 1964 or earlier. After 1964, they were debased by the government, and the silver was taken out. So how can you tell if you have a silver coin or not? As you see in this illustration, you have a stack of quarters, and the third quarter down is different than the other ones that are in the stack. It's silver. The edges of the rest of them are brown. That means that these coins were minted after 1964, where they took out the silver and replaced it with copper. So all you have to do to see if your coins that are in your pocket, in your change jars, or between your seats, underneath your couch pillows, cushions, or in your car, or anywhere else that you may leave your change, what you want to do is actually check your dimes and your quarters and your half dollars to see if they're silver or not. And if you find any, make sure that you separate them and keep them. That's silver. Okay, so after doing that, another thing that you may want to look at, some of the other coins that I really like are the Mexican Libertads. We get a lot of silver from Mexico, so these Libertads are they're a beautiful coin, lustrous, beautiful coins that I like to have, and they're well recognized in the bullion field as being very valuable. So that's something else. Now, after you've purchased your initial purchases and you've met your quota of how many coins you want to have, another way to get your ounce count up, because that's what you really want to do. You want to have as many ounces as you possibly can have. now you can look at, and you can use the same rule of thumb with silver bars and silver rounds in your purchase. Now, what are silver bars and silver rounds? Well, they're the same silver and gold, but they're not minted by the government. They're minted by private institutions. That's the only difference. And one of the ones that I really like are the generic silver rounds. Now, the benefit that you'll have there is this: they are closer. They're closer to spot. Their spot plus is less, and their spot minus, but their spot minus is also more. Meaning they're not going to pay you more when you sell it to them, but you're not going to pay as much when you buy it. So that's the trade-off. And so that small trade-off, it does affect your ounce count. You can get more ounces of the generic rounds and silver bars. In some cases, some bars will have the same price as coins because of the mints that you're buying from. So that's something also that you want to familiarize yourself with. Well, that's pretty much it for the buying first-time purchase of silver and gold. But just before we go, I want to get into something that I'm noticing and I just want to bring to light. If you look at the Federal Reserve system, and they're printing out these new $100 bills. This is just my opinion. If you look at the new $100 bill, that blue stripe that you see, that blue stripe is a magnetic strip. And why is that so important? Well, with that magnetic strip, they can actually track that $100 bill, and that's moving us into a digital currency format. And also, if you look at the International Monetary Fund that deals with sovereign wealth, they have the SDR, which is also digital. And now you have this big the new fad and the new craze of bitcoins. Well, bitcoins is not a physical asset per se. It's a digital asset. Anything that's digital is not a physical asset that you can claim, because it is digital, you do not have full control and autonomy over it. You don't physically hold it. Even though our fiat currency, which is based in debt, it still has some value to it because it's a physical that is physically something that you physically can control with cash and carry. As a matter of fact, cash and carry came from buying gold. But the cash and carry attribute of everything is you can have cash and carry, and you can get yourself out of being taxed for something that you shouldn't be taxed for. Because if you look at some of these new tax laws, they are pretty much illegal. But this is the total move towards a digital currency in a digital world, because in a digital world you lose a lot of your own sovereign freedom. But even with cash being in debt base, even though it can be defaulted on, it still offers you the ability to have cash and carry. And I will move into that in the future, in some future other videos about, and I'll expand on that a little bit more with my opinion on that. Hey, I just want to thank you for listening, taking the time.